Jaya Shri Śrīmad Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai. Om Ishtapada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaracharya Stotra Shri Śrīmad Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Sridharidas Thakur ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कुंज प्यारी की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। श्री श्रीनाथ बाल गोपाल गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री श्री गौर विताय की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। All best assembled devotees. All best assembled devotees. All best assembled devotees. All best assembled Shri Guru and Govinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome to ISKCON Required Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam morning class. Today we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, text number 3. Let us start with the invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayashu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayashu Bhadresu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki
Bhagavati Naistiki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Kṛṣṇaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nandanaya
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Nanda Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome to ISKCON Required Day Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam morning class. So, reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali, text number 3. Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Shamam yavasam icchatim.
Shamam yavasam icchatim.
Shamam yavasam icchatim.
Shamam yavasam icchatim.
Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Shamam yavasam icchatim.
Shamam yavasam icchatim. Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Gam cha dharma-dugham dinam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Brisham shudra padahatam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Vivatsam ashruvadanam.
Shamam yavasam icchatim.
Shamam yavasam icchatim. Let us go word by word. Gam,
Now,
the cow. Cha, also.
cha also.
Dharma-dugham,
Dharma-dugham.
beneficial because one can draw religion from her.
Beneficial because one can draw religion from her.
Dinam,
Dinam.
now rendered poor.
Lord renders poor.
Brisham,
Brisham.
distressed.
Distressed.
Shudra,
Shudra.
the lower caste.
The lower caste.
Padahatam,
Padam hatam.
beaten on the legs.
Is being on the
Beaten on the legs.
leg.
Vivatsam,
Vivatsam.
without any calf.
Without any calf.
Ashruvadanam,
Asruvadam.
with tears in her eyes.
tears in her eyes.
Shamam,
Very
very weak. Yavasam, grass. Ichchati, as if desiring to have some grass to eat.
Desiring to have some grass to eat.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Ajaya Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Translation. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were beaten by Shudra. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. Please repeat. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her. She was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by a Shudra. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. Purport. The next symptom of the age of Kali is the distressed condition of the cow. Milking the cow means drawing the principles of religion in a liquid form. The great rishis and munis would live only on milk. Śrīla Sukadeva Goswami would go to a householder while he was milking a cow, and he would simply take a little quantity of it for subsistence. Even 50 years ago, no one would deprive a sadhu of a quart or two of milk, and every householder would give milk like water. For a Sanatanist, a follower of Vedic principles, it is the duty of every householder to have cows and bulls as household paraphernalia, not only for drinking milk but also for deriving religious principles. The Sanatanist worships cows on religious principles and respects Brahmanas. The cow's milk is required for the sacrificial fire, and by performing sacrifices, the householder can be happy. The cow's calf not only is beautiful to look at, but also gives satisfaction to the cow, and so she delivers as much milk as possible. But in the Kali Yuga, the calves are separated from the cows as early as possible for purpose which may not be mentioned in these pages of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The cow stands with tears in her eyes. The Shudra milkman draws milk from the cow artificially, and when there is no milk, the cow is sent to be slaughtered. These greatly sinful acts are responsible for all the troubles in present society. People do not know what they are doing in the name of economic development. Jai Shri Radha Jai Jagannath Jai Shri Gauri. The influence of Kali will keep them in the darkness of ignorance. Despite all endeavors for peace and prosperity, they must try to see the cows and bulls happy in all respects. Foolish people do not know how one earns happiness by making the cows and bulls happy, but it is a fact by the law of nature. Let us take it from the authority of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and adopt the principles for the total happiness of humanity. Om Ajnānatimirandasya Jnānanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Takta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Palitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to ISKCON Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam morning class. So, yesterday we have seen how the bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him. And he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and waiting. So, yesterday we have seen how the Dharma is trembling and in a very weak state. So, today we see, although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by Shudra. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. First, imagine if a powerful emperor or a ruler walking through his kingdom, what he expects to see. He expects to see prosperity. He expects to see joyful citizens, everywhere happiness, and he expects to see like Dharma is flourishing in his kingdom. Instead, here Parīkṣit Maharaj notices a heartbreaking scene. A helpless bull standing on one leg, a weak mother cow crying with tears in her eyes, a cruel man, Shudra, in the form dressed like a king, beating both of them. This is not merely animal cruelty, but Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is showing us the condition of the entire world. So, one may have the question like, if you wanted to know whether a family is happy or not, what would you observe? The possible answers could be good relations, children, and homely atmosphere in their family and everything. So, today we see like how does Bhagavatam measure whether society is healthy or not? It is not based on just some GDP or some technology or some skyscrapers, but how all the living entities are treated, how cow and bull are treated. That is Bhagavatam's definition of civilization. And in the previous verse we saw how bull standing on one leg, earth appearing as mother cow, and Kali entering, starting to manifest his influence on the society. So today we zoom into Mother Earth herself, like her suffering, her tears, and her message for humanity. So we shall see 4 beautiful points today. Why is the cow called dharma-dughā, the giver of religion? And why does Mother Earth appear as a crying cow. What mistakes has Kali Yuga made regarding cows, nature and prosperity? And what are the practical lessons we devotees can apply today in order to avoid those situations? So, most of the people, like many people, think this verse is simply about protecting cows, but actually it is about protecting our own future. When the cow cries, humanity eventually cries. We face many tribulations, sufferings, one after the other. So first we're gonna see Mother Cow, the foundation of Dharma. Dharma-dughā means milk does not merely nourish the body. According to Śrīla Prabhupāda, milk nourishes finer brain tissues and it enables us to understand spiritual knowledge nicely in a very good manner. Also, with the same milk, one can make yogurt, butter, ghee, and this ghee is also being offered in yajnas or sacrifices. Therefore, religion literally flows from the cow. And that is why Bhagavatam calls her dharma-dughā, the giver of religion, the cow. So, when we hear the word wealth, what comes to our mind? People may say like, oh, wealth means money, wealth means good gold, wealth means house and opulence, wealth means investments. But the true wealth means Vedic civilization measured wealth differently. One who possessed cows, grains, land, brahmanas, those were considered as wealthy in our Vedic civilization. And why was every householder expected to maintain cows? We may get doubt like, oh, today there were no such thing, like not everyone is maintaining cows. But at that time, why was that situation happen? So every house, every home maintained cows because milk nourished the whole family. It was being supplied to small babies, even elderly people, or even for the daily needs. Milk is a very essential thing. And calves were protected. And yajnas or sacrifices required ghee, which is a pure, like getting from the cow is a pure form of ghee. And guests were served very nicely with those offerings from milk, like milk, yogurt, ghee, and many sweets also. And sadhus, saintly persons, whoever visits houses, they are also given the pure cow milk. And devotion naturally flourished. And Śrīla Prabhupāda mentions, even 50 years ago, a sadhu never left a home without milk. Householders happily gave milk like water. Why? Because serving saintly people invited blessings. When we serve saintly personalities or pure devotees of the Lord, they bestow their true kind blessings upon us, and their blessings will make our life more and more prosper. And a wonderful illustration on this context, I would like to say, a story of King Dilipa, who is from Raghu Vamsha. King Dilipa had everything, yet he had no child. His guru instructed him, serve mother cow Nandini. The king personally protected the cow. He followed her everywhere. He never considered this service beneath his dignity. One day, a lion attacked the cow. King Dilipa immediately offered his own life. Take me, please spare the cow. The lion disappeared. And this has been a divine test for King Dilipa. Because of sincere cow service, the king received blessings. Later, Raghu dynasty Raghuvamsha has been continued, and from which Lord Ramachandra has appeared. So, one important lesson from here is serving cows is never ordinary service. It attracts divine mercy. And if we see in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 44, Krishna describes that agriculture, cow protection, trade as natural duties of Vaishyas. We notice here there is cow protection, but not cow exploitation. Krishna clearly mentions in Bhagavad Gita as cow protection is very important. And even in chapter 3, text 14, he says like, food comes from rain, rain comes from sacrifice. Sacrifice requires ghee, and ghee comes from ultimately cows. So everything is dependent upon cows, and it's very, we are very dependent on cows, and if we try to exploit the cows, it in turn, somehow or other, we will only be suffering at last. Therefore, the entire cycle of prosperity depends upon respecting nature. If we give proper respect and care to cows, then only our nature and our sustenance will be good shape. So imagine if you are having the world's most expensive smartphone, but never you don't charge it for quite a bit time. Eventually everything stops. So similarly, modern civilization builds technology but disconnects itself from nature and dharma. The result we get is stress, conflicts, anxiety, environmental imbalance, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam teaches us how to reconnect to the source, how to connect back to Krishna, and what is our eternal relationship with Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam reveals that to us. One may even ask question like, why Krishna himself chose to become a cowherd boy? Because Krishna loves cows, and also he wanted to teach us what we should value. He is also known as Govinda and Gopāla. Both the names glorify his affection for cows. We also see in his pastime where Mother Yashoda asks him to wear footwear while he is going to graze the calves. Then he said, when all my calves wear the chappal or footwear, then only I will wear. 900,000 calves, like how Mother Yashoda can supply everything, and she says like, okay, you can go. So that much affection, because he doesn't want his cows to be like left like that and their legs to be hurt. But now see how Kali Yuga has manifested in initial days, like a Shudra man who disguised as a king is beating up the cow and bull. So how drastically it has changed after once Supreme Lord has disappeared from this planet. So even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed as Jive Daya, show compassion to every living being. Cow protection is not merely economic, it is compassion. And it reflects the Vaishnava culture and Vaishnava etiquette. Now, we understood like why cows are glorified. Now Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam presents an extremely painful picture. Why is mother cow crying? The tears of Mother Earth, which is a mirror of Kali Yuga. Imagine we are in that situation. The cow is weak, very weak, hungry, calfless, crying, being beaten. And one may externally view that only cow is crying here. But is it only cow is crying? No, even cow, who is in the form of Mother Earth, who is in the form of cow, Mother Earth herself is crying. So the cow represents Mother Earth and compassion, motherhood, religion, selfless giving. And on the other side, the bull represents dharma. When both these suffer, like Mother Earth and dharma, both suffers, human society collapses. And we see how society is being degraded from time to time. And it's been degrading also currently. And one may think like, oh, why is she calfless? The purport explains that in Kali Yuga, the calf is separated. Milk becomes a business. The mother's affection is ignored. Eventually, when she stops producing milk, she is discarded. Śrīla Prabhupāda strongly points out that these sinful acts bring suffering to society. How many natural calamities we are facing, like floods, droughts, volcano eruptions, and many things, even forest fires, right? Rather than seeing the cow as a mother who gives selflessly, modern society often treats her only as a commercial resource, only for accumulating wealth. So this exploitation, he explains, contributes to a widespread of unrest and misery because it violates the laws of nature which are described in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam emphasizes on cultivating compassion and protecting those who sustain society rather than reducing living beings to objects of exploitation. So, even in our day-to-day analogy, life, imagine if a mother raises her child, she sacrifices everything for supplying the child's whatever child requires. When she grows old, her children, imagine if her children abandons her. Would that society call that as civilized? No, right? Exactly, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam asks us the same question. When we get bereft of our duties to protect cow and also other living entities, other living beings. Can a society become peaceful simply by increasing technology? No. Because technology may solve convenience, but it doesn't solve problems like greed, envy, violence, and also it cannot restore peace. Peace begins when compassion returns. When we have compassion, then only we may experience that peace within us. And also, when we see in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj, his kingdom was prospered because at that time cows were protected, rains were on time, and grains were abundant, and citizens were peaceful and happy. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam repeatedly describes these as signs of righteous rule, showing the connection between dharma, responsible leadership, and also the well-being of society. So, in the upcoming verses, we see how Parīkṣit Maharaj deals with the situation, and a king's first duty is protection. It's not exploitation. He protects the innocent, especially those who are unable to defend themselves, like the poor creatures, animals like cow, bull, etc. This demonstrates the principle that leadership means safeguarding the vulnerable. And today, we often speak about mental health, environment, pollution, climate, violence, family breakdown. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam invites us to look deeper. When humanity forgets gratitude, compassion and dharma, imbalance naturally flows. Here, the verse is teaching us a spiritual principle. Our relation with other living beings and with nature affects the entire health of society. Even the entire society is being affected when we when we get bereft of our relationships with other living beings. And some of the practical lessons for us in today's verse is, cow protection also means supporting farms that protect cows. Using Krishna's prasada with gratitude, feeling that gratitude towards Sri Radha Kunj and Supreme Lord. Avoiding unnecessary violence, living in a simple manner, simple living and higher thinking. Respecting all the living beings and offering bhoga to Krishna before we consume. Cultivating gratitude rather than exploitation. Even if one cannot personally maintain cows, one can support and appreciate efforts that protect them. Like many temples are trying to protect cows, are trying to spend Lakshmi on developing farms and cows. So we can, even if we cannot personally protect cows and take care of them, we can support whoever are taking care, we can support financially or we can render some service to it. And we can also live with that consciousness that everything belongs to Krishna. We do not owe anything. We came up into this material world with nothing and we leave from this material world with nothing. So whatever we possess in this specific timeline, it is being supplied by Kṛṣṇa Himself. So the famous analogy Śrīla Prabhupāda quotes is like, when we supply water to the roots of a tree, then whole tree or plant gets nourished. The water is being supplied to each and every part of the tree. So similarly, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam waters the root and it restores dharma and everything else gradually improves. And one may think like, oh, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam only focuses on cow or bull. No. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not merely discussing about one animal. It is teaching us the gratitude, how even other living entities are helping us in maintaining our lives. And it shows us how to be compassionate towards other living beings and how to take the responsibility of protecting them. Even they are also living entities in this material world. And how to protect dharma. When cows and bulls are respected, the culture of sacrifice, gratitude and spiritual life flourishes. When they are neglected and exploited, society loses its moral compass. And Mahārāja Parīkṣit teaches us that true leadership begins by protecting those who cannot protect themselves. And Lord Krishna, Supreme Lord Krishna Himself chose the names Govinda and Gopāla, which reminds us that caring for His creation, He cares for His cows much, which is more dear to Him. So let us therefore strive not only to speak about compassion, but to practice it in our daily lives. We can start serving the cows or even helping the people who are serving cows or maintaining the farms. So some of the key takeaways from today's verse is, dharma flows through gratitude. The cow is called here dharma-dughā because her gifts support spiritual culture and reminds us to live gratefully and also with compassion. Compassion is the measure of civilization. A society is judged not only by its wealth or technology, but by how it treats the weak, the dependent, and also the innocent. Exploitation has consequences. Ignoring the principles of dharma and exploiting nature brings imbalance and suffering. Even if material progress appears to increase, we see if some forest area or some riverbed is being converted to a commercial building, what happens if suddenly, in a rainy season, all of a sudden a huge rain may occur, then the entire the surrounding area of that building gets flooded, right? So if we disturb nature, it eventually disturbs our lives as well. So here, we devotees can make a difference by honoring prasada, supporting cow protection, practicing simplicity, and cultivating kindness. Every devotee can contribute to a more Krishna conscious society. By seeing our practice, many people may change. So we have to be very strong in our practicing our regulative principles and also our strict practices. And we see from Mahārāja Parīkṣit, he did not remain a passive observer. He acted to protect dharma. We may not have a bow or arrow, but we can protect dharma through our choices, our compassion, and our example of our living. How we live is in our hands. Like what choices we make. Also, we have that free will to make our choices. So let us all make a good choice which helps the environment, other living entities to live peacefully and be protected always. So I would like to conclude by this. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Anyone have any questions, comments, realizations?
Yes, cow protection is the basic root cause of happiness of service. You can see, in short-sightedness, we can see all material advancement, and this is actually from this purport we see that it does not help. We see superficially we feel happy, which are not really happiness. Real happiness, I would see that when India was being invaded by the other countries, they were the one who were demonic people, and they started taking, they could get the, let's take an example of British people were ruling a major part of India, and they needed grain, agriculture. All agricultural products were taken from India. They were taken and they were leaving nothing for them. The people were starvation. There was never a starvation famine in India. Really, it was created by them.
Yeah.
We can see now what is coming out. This which was created by them, and just looking at that we were not the materially advanced people, but the happy families were there. Everybody were very happy living. But then they came and disturbed the people, trying to satisfy their greed of material things. And this is how the whole thing was destroyed. Now, Prabhupada trying to bring it back to this. So, in short-sightedness, people may not realize, they see that that is possible through what we are talking about, which will make you happy. But if your intelligence think properly, if we are having a cow milk is not being used much available in India, that lot of buffalo milk is there.
Yeah.
So it is not as good. Cows have been crossbreeded differently, and Jersey cow, this cow, really real milk, quality of milk comes from the Desi cow. Okay. And the hump,
Yeah.
the hump that sun rays work on to them somehow. I don't know the detailed chemistry of that one, but it is providing. Now, what is happening in India, even this dairy product, which is dairy in India, is Amul Dairy. They are trying to support people who use big Goshala themselves, like to maintain themselves. You know, they can Goshala, they guarantee that they will buy all the milk from them for dairy products. So they are helping, they are supplying the cow feed, and they are giving them the technology help how to raise the cows and take care of them. I know some families are already doing that thing, thinking that they're not getting a job or anything. Okay, so job is like a servant service. It is not truly speaking, Vaishyas are not working as in factories, never. So this factories business is already created by him and blind-sighted ourselves. In India also we try to look for all the good material facilities. You know. But I can see now that how much we have lost gradually in our younger age, childhood time. We never had any problem. I never remember getting sick like what we getting sick now. Sickness, I did not know even how, the headache. I never knew how I was something, helping the people in our house, elderly people, they would have a situation. And we massage their head and this, and apply some balm. And I was regular doing that thing. But actually, I never knew that what kind of pain you get in that from that. And the older age, we started getting this thing. So now what was the situation? All the advancement of material advancement gives you headache, all kind of health, bad health, everything. Now, product, food has been adulterated. So much adults. Milk is not available, pure milk.
Contamination, everything.
Artificial milk they are making it. Yes, in India. Oh boy. That is what we hear that from urea they make milk. And then they sell cheese. Actually, it is not to be, this milk when that's spoiled, then it becomes a solid, then water separates. Right? From that, we make paneer. But we make that break down and make a. But Ayurvedic point says that it is not animal, human food. And that's the best thing we think about it. If there, even in ISKCON, if there is not a paneer sabji, it is not really a feast. And paneer, in Gujarat we never heard about paneer. While first time I've seen piece of paneer in a college, engineering college, where in Gwalior. Gwalior, I was studying there. And one day I heard about paneer. I don't know what is the paneer. I didn't even know what it is and how it comes out of it. But then there were small pieces, they were fried. And I thought that there is suran is a root. So I thought those pieces we used to have as for sabji that were done and fried in it. So I thought that's what it is. When I looked at about so I could see, I could swallow it. It looked like meat to me. Oh boy. So what going back to our old system is the one is going to give us all prosperity. And peace of mind, peace is the only way that we do. Now peace talking about today is like our America. At the cost of others' suffering, create them their suffering to get my happiness. So this is how we are happening. And we can see now how that they are actually going through. And now the US government also problem because India is not going for supporting them, this type of things. But we still want material advancement is so much going through for those type of things. So it is material facilities and all those things, which is not required, not needed actually speaking. But how to live in this? So Prabhupada gave us 4 regulatory principles that stay away out of Kali. Effect of Kali is one of those 4 places are there. So simple activities. And then it says that any family can live peacefully without any advancement or material advancement with having a piece of land, small piece of land, and a couple of cows, and a bull. The bull, 2 bulls will till the farm. Right, and that's why his father makes earning in the family. So then he is the father of that, maintaining that way. So this is absolutely true. The Bhagavatam, what is showing us is the way to go. But it is it's difficult situation there.
It's a wake-up call.
Right.
So, let us all try to be following the principles from scriptures. Let us all try to follow the scriptural
You
principles.
would have seen you're from India, what part?
South India.
Huh?
South India.
South India, yeah. There still people have seen in the last 25 years I have been going to the Ayurvedic hospital for treatment usually in Kerala. So people are very religious. Every evening I see a lot of people going to the temple, take baths, and there's our traditional dress ready and then go. Now in last 20 years I see that gradually coming out of it, and now westernized types. In the hospital also support, we used to support that the treatment, the massagers and all those people. They have, the ladies had the saris and proper attires, and the men were also. But then gradually came back in the pant and shirt. Then the ladies also started the same thing. So because people they brought in from other states to make a business out of it. So to support the business, this is what happening. The whole thing has been changing and we are losing this type of thing. Prabhupada there were some in India, in Vrindavan I think, heard about that someone, he had all men on dhoti and kurta type system, and ladies for sari. So it has been changed. Someone was in a group of devotees, not wearing proper attire. Prabhupada says that why she's not been inside. If she don't want to change the dress, then they cannot live with us. That's how he said that time. But now it's a different situation. It is very difficult to override this Western style of attire and what. Yeah, convenient situation is there, but actually our men's dress, we'll see that, is never case. As you grow, but it doesn't go out of size for you as you grow.
Yeah.
Because same time, you don't need anything, it's a piece of cloth. Used to go out to say people here, other people, the temple, they are wearing bed sheets. That's how they are talking. They didn't see what is the value, is the quality item and all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't realize the value. People don't realize the value.
Yeah. Kṛṣṇa will save us.
Yeah.
He is the supreme
Protector.
Yeah. Thank you, nice class.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Hare Krishna.